Hi, everyone. Welcome to chapter 7 of The Slight Edge. I really loved this chapter and I was super excited to be the one to be able to talk about it because happiness has always been something special for me and something that has been important in my life. Of course, it's comprised of three things: life, which is health, which we've got that. We have the health through the supplements that we have. Liberty, which is finances, because I'm always telling my girls, yes, you marry for love, but if you marry someone who has no intention of supporting you, it doesn't seem to stay happy very long. And I've definitely seen that. We all need money to enjoy things in life, especially the fun things, the extra things. And it really helps to have extra money to go along with it. But happiness is not really attached to these things, even though we tend to think that it is. We tend to think that happiness is attached to things. And so, oh, I'm going to get to this rank and I'll be happy, or I'm going to get this prize and I'll be happy, or I'm going to get married and I'll be happy, or I'm going to have kids and I'll be happy. And yet, a lot of people get all of these things and they're not happy. It's the small, simple things that you do every single day. It's mindset, really, having your glass half full, counting your blessings, doing kind things for people. So it's not a destination. When I get there, I'll be happy. You get there, you're happy for a minute, and then you move on. Wherever you go, there you are, right? No matter what you have, you are still the person that matters. It's in who you are. Happiness is about who you are. So when I was in my last year of college, I got sent on an internship to Camp Hope, Home for Women and Children. And it was a ministry. And we, as interns, did not get paid hardly anything, probably enough to fill our car with gas. And basically we had to eat whatever was in the cafeteria. We were there super early in the morning. We get up around 5, do our devotions, get over there for 7. We were there all day. We were there at night a lot of times to do prayer meetings every Wednesday. Every Sunday was 3 meetings that we had to go to for church. Then there was all-night prayer meetings, and it was crazy. It was a lot of looking after other people. And where my kids are, I told them to stay downstairs, and they're not, but it was a lot of just personal struggle and getting through, and there was not a lot of choices. So when I left there, happiness for me was taking a shower that was longer than 2 minutes, or being able to sleep in, or just being able to choose what I was going to have for dinner that night. So really in those little things, I really found happiness. And I think that that is exactly what this chapter is talking about. So happiness plus your attitude, plus making the daily habits, that equals success. So you're going to have people that want to make these habits, but they're not going to until they see happiness as that final destination. And often they see it in you. When they see it in you, that's what they want. So he said, how do you get happiness? How do you teach people happiness? So he said to write down 3 things that you're grateful for every single day. And this is great, especially with the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving coming up. A lot of people do like gratitude for the month, and I love that. I love doing that. It always makes me just surprised at how many things I really am grateful for. And then to journal for 2 minutes a day about a positive experience. Someone actually gave me as a gift like a little journal, something you could write something special in about that day. And I love that. So I can flip through it and you can see like last year, this day, what happened that was amazing. And it can be something so simple, like somebody sending you a kind word of encouragement, or a note, or someone buying you coffee, or just something cute your kid said. It's great. They said for meditate for 2 minutes a day. And I take that as praying or meditating on God's word. We don't need to fill our minds with emptiness. We need to fill ourselves with more of the Holy Spirit. So that's my take on that. And do a random act of kindness for someone. That's really fun. It doesn't have to be a lot. Again, it can just be telling someone something special about themselves, or sending them a note, or telling their kids something special about themselves. Sometimes we just neglect the people that are closest to us when we think about doing those random acts of kindness. And then to exercise for 15 minutes a day. And that really does make you feel better. So my girls have been doing track all summer. They've been doing awesome, but not all of them want to run. And so I told them, okay, if I can run, you can run. So let's run together. So Amelia and Violet and I have been running. And then Juliet just laps us because she's amazing and she just keeps going and going. But we've been running together, and it really does feel so good. And it makes you feel good about yourself as well. So that is how to rewire your brain and to just be happy. And that's me. Jess, I turn it over to you.
Hey guys, this work one open. So chapter 8, the ripple effects, I feel like I just had a ton of thoughts while I was reading this. And I went back and I read it again, and I tried to concise some of it down, because I feel like for me, this chapter was about strengthening your foundation. Like we've already discussed in the previous chapters, it's never too late to start repairing a weak or a shaky foundation. You can start as small as one little thing every day, and you just keep compiling on top of that. And that's what this whole book is about. So the bigger the foundation, the bigger the house you can build on it. The bigger the house, the more people that can live under that roof, the more lives you can touch. So for me, this just kept coming back to that sense. And then in the beginning, it said, it's strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many others. And that's what it's all about. Like, how many people will we impact, or can we impact? Which, that's what we do. That's what Plexus is. It's how many people can we impact? If you aren't helping people feel better, if you're not helping people with their finances, if you're not helping people help other people, you're not going to be here very long. This whole company thrives on how many people can you impact. So that just kept, it's like this whole chapter was written about Plexus, basically. So it says in 1 Peter 4 verse 10, as each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. He gave us talents for a purpose. Grow them and use them for good. If you are doing all of the personal growth, but you're not using it to help others, I don't know that you're getting your full potential out of your personal growth. You can do the same thing every day over and over until you have the slight edge, but it's showing other people the same things. When you think of your talents, what are they? How can you use them to create a ripple effect? Anybody?
I'll break the ice. I almost jumped out of my seat. Talent. So a talent I have is communication and teaching. And so I can create a ripple effect by teaching the people that are closest to me, closest proximity, my levels 1s, my levels 2s, a specific skill set, whether that is a sample message or how to overcome an objection. And it creates a ripple effect down throughout their teams using a gift or talent that I have. Same thing. There's so many ways you can mirror like the ripple effect, because I see it in a lot of ways, but that's just an example, like in Plexus, how you can have a ripple effect. It's why we tell you when you have a light bulb moment or you've overcome something hard, nothing excites us more than like, go tell other people. Like, how did you just overcome that? Go tell other people, because we get in the spot where we think we're the only ones. Like, we are the only person who struggles with this, and being vulnerable and telling people this is what I just struggled with, but overcame, it empowers other people currently in the struggle. It inspires them to think, oh, there's hope now. I should keep going. So now everyone else.
And I'll read it again if anybody else wants to hear it. When you think of your talents, what are they? And how can you use them to create a ripple effect in your life?
Okay. So I think about how I'm a good connector. I'm saying it out loud because everybody tells me, so I'm just saying I am. And a lot of my team will just ask me, and even my sidelines, they ask me like just how my conversations are going. So I have shared lots of screenshots and just different sample messages and just different conversations with my downline and my sidelines, just showing them how I connect with people.
Anybody else?
Well, mindset, I know we always say that our business is 80% mindset. So I think one of the big things is I like to encourage people. And so encouraging one another is a big mindset tool. And that comes in with training as well. But I think he talks a little bit about just being positive and how much we hear no in our lifetimes. So being positive and encouraging one another helps us keep our focus towards the future he talks about in the book instead of in the past.
Yes. So it's the author's daughter, Amber, says because she grew up with this slight edge, she always had the perception that literally anything was attainable as long as she was consistent about working on it every day. How empowering is that? Like, never once in your life thinking something was unattainable for yourself. I don't know that I can even fathom that, but I am starting to understand it because the more I grow and the more I work on all of these things through Plexus, the more I am feeling that way. Like, I just have to find a different thing to work on to be better at it to get there. I break it down into smaller pieces now. So we can give that to our kids, our friends, our families. Like, part of our sharing and our ripple effect is showing other people. She never had the perception she couldn't do it because she grew up in it. Her parents showed her every day how the slight edge worked and how to attain those things. So it's like, it's just something that she saw as second nature. And we have the opportunity every day to show that to people in our lives. You better yourself as part of bettering all the people you can touch. And it says that everyone wants to feel like, because we are here, I have blown this up and I can't read what I'm trying to read now. Oh, there we go. Everyone wants to feel like because we're here, the world is a better place. We all want to make an impact. So ask yourself, what's happening beyond the doors of my home? When you think outside of your house, where does that take you? What impact do you aspire to have on others outside of your home?
What was the question again?
What impact do you aspire to have on others outside of your home?
Oh, I want to have the impact of helping people earn financial freedom.
Good one. Succeeding in that one.
I want to have the impact of showing people that there's hope. There's hope in Jesus, first of all. But there's hope. So that's eternal hope. But there's hope in having a better quality of life through their health and through their finances.
I want to have the impact of showing people that they can become a disciplined person.
I think
Um,
also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Why are you talking over me, Terry?
Oh, it's just you. Let me go.
I just want people to know that they can dream big and that those dreams can be attained, like crazy big, like people laugh at you kind of big, and know that they can do it and watch them do it. That's what I want, is to watch them do it.
Oh, I'd go now, but you said what I was going to say. So, I mean, just thinking about, for me, like I didn't know how to dream. Like, I just thought I was stuck living my life the way it was, which was great, but it's a lot better now, and it's going to be even better and better. But it's just, I want to impact people and help them see that they're not stuck. Like, they have options. And then
You're
all
welcome.
those other things y'all said too.
You welcome, Terry. You welcome.
So It says, what if Jeff Olson hadn't used his gift to write this book? Then rewrite it. He used his gift. He wrote the book. It touched so many people's lives. He went back, they collected stories, and then they rewrote the book. He didn't just stop and think, oh, well, I've helped enough people now. No need to do that. He just kept going. And all the lives that he touched and like helped change, we have that same opportunity here. Like we have the same opportunity to help an abundant amount of people over and over again. There's no end until every single person is living a better life, a healthier life, has financial freedom, has time freedom. You just keep going. Even when you had bad days, even when people read his book and didn't like it, even when people said, oh, well, I read your book, it didn't do anything for me, and I applied it every day. Well, you probably didn't. You probably didn't take your drink every day either. But that's why it didn't work for you. You just keep going. So you can't let it get you down. But some of us are scared to reach out to people about the products, and especially the opportunity side. We talk about that all the time. But that's how we write our book, y'all. If you don't keep reaching out about the products and especially the opportunity side, you're not writing your book. You're not helping other people. And look at all the stories that they collected for the new version. Like, all of those people would not have transformed their life had he not written that book. So, like, look back at all the testimonies created by being consistent and following up that helped all the people on your team. How many people's lives have you already transformed just to get to this point from sharing and helping people? Probably a lot, if I had to guess. And then this hit me hard. It says, the price of success. Growth creates abundance, and abundance in turn creates responsibility. I feel like we've heard that, guys. We have some really good leaders that have told us these things far before the slide edge. If you're not making someone's life better, then you're wasting your time. Your life will only become better by helping others' lives become better. Will Smith. Y'all. That's what we gotta do. Like, just keep helping other people. And then your life will automatically start becoming better by proxy. But it's our responsibility. We have knowledge others don't have. And we say all the time, people don't know what they don't know. So it's our responsibility to tell them. What instances can you think of where you made someone's life better through Plexus, or how you can make someone's life better? Kristen is so excited.
I'll go. I had a girl that actually bought all of her Christmas presents with her Plexus money. And she was like, I wasn't able to do that without the money that she earned through Plexus. So it changed her family's whole holiday season.
That's huge. Nobody else can think of any way that they've helped transform someone's life? Or,
Don't move on, Jessa. Don't move on. Just let them sit in it for a
like,
second.
I'm not moving on. Like, y'all know y'all can come up with some testimonies.
I have something. So one of my first people that I signed up, she was a mom similar to me, and she had suffered from migraines from as long as she can remember. And that was 2 or 3 years ago, and she's still using the products, and she's able to be a present mom, and she's able to be a present wife that she never thought she would be. And I see her at church every Sunday, and she's awesome. So it's a good feeling to see that.
We have so many that aren't on prescription medication anymore. I mean, that's a big thing for me.
I think about my buddy Renee. Some of y'all know her. She had such terrible IBS that if she were going to go on a trip, she had to know every restaurant, like every restroom, and how fast she could get there from the interstate. She had a terrible stomach problems. And so she doesn't, I mean, if you follow her on social media, she'd be traveling everywhere now. So she's doing great. Loves her products. So stuff like that.
I mean, are we just talking about the products? Was the question just specifically for products?
It's just-
No, girl, you had already told how I made your life better. So I don't skip.
Well, I mean, thinking about products, I mean, I've got like a ton of them, but even one of my best friends from kindergarten, she was on terrible medicine for rheumatoid arthritis, and she was able to come off with that. I've got a couple of friends like that, actually. I mean, she was on that medicine that makes your hair fall out, and just, she would lay in the bathtub and it would literally just, she'd get up and it'd be all in the tub. And now she doesn't have to take that medicine that made her hair fall out because of Plexus. And then financial, oh my gosh, just seeing, I mean, nobody's quit their job yet, but just seeing like Laurel's lifestyle, just watching how different and how much more she's getting to say yes to her kids and her family, going on trips. Just, man, I got goosebumps thinking about it, because she used to like count pennies, y'all. Like if I owed her $17.32, I was going to give her that 32 cents.
That is funny. I was going to say something about the business too. I think one thing that I have done that has helped some people on my team is showed them that they can have a residual stream of income. Like even if they love their profession, they love their job, they aren't looking to escape, they are looking for extra. And so creating this residual stream that they've been able to count on now for 2 years, like hundreds or even thousands of dollars that come into their paycheck every single month, not because of their 9-to-5 job. They go to their 9-to-5 job for this purpose, and Plexus provides for this purpose. And so being able to be a tremendous financial blessing over here while they're still getting to operate in whatever their strength zone is, or whatever their calling is, or their passion, or whatever. I have several of those girls, and then they're able to go into their workplace, their career field, and offer a residual stream of secondary income as well. And that is what even people who are stable, steady, and secure in their profession, what they're still after is residual income. It's why they invest money. It's why they have investment accounts, because they want money to work for them. And this allows that to happen. Anyway.
I know for me,
Go ahead.
I haven't been here very long, or not as long as some of you others, but I know for me, like I felt stuck. And for years, I've wanted to be able to be a mom, which I don't even have kids yet, but I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I have wanted to be able to work from home because I love business. And I felt like I just would grind my gears trying to figure out how I was going to be able to have both. And so for me, like, with starting this, I want to be able to help someone else be able to come out of that place of feeling stuck. So.
Well, and I was going to say, and Whitney put it in the chat, but I was thinking about her, like all she wanted was to be home with Lindley and to not have to drop her off at school every day, and they're both be at school, whatever. She just wanted to be home with her and have time. And she was able to do that. She's at home now and loving mama life. And I mean, you can just see it all over what a difference it's made for her. And on top of that, she's paid her car off early, and it's just, I mean, it's making differences for them long term. And so that is just, I mean, I just don't know what else we can ask for, other than impacting people's lives that way. Because that's not just immediate, like the effects of Lindley having her mama at home and not stressed out and all the things that she was living, that's gonna affect her for the rest of her life. And that to me is just everything.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, it really affects our kids so much. The other day, Charlotte said to me, "Mom, you're so nice. You're so kind." And that really struck me, because I remember watching Brittany's video, Diamond documentary, and her daughter said that about her. And at that moment, I did not feel like I had been a kind mom. I was a stressed out mom. I was a tired, exhausted mom, and I didn't feel like I was kind. So when she said that, that was like everything to me. And Plexus has changed everything for them, with the vitamins and the probiotics for them, the drinks. Their bellies don't hurt anymore, and they love Plexus, and they cannot wait until they're old enough to sell it. And they already tell all their friends they need it. And it's changed the way we eat in our house. It's changed the way we exercise. Like, it has changed our lives. And so they're going to have a completely different life than I did. And I love that.
My kids were primed before we did any filming. Just so you know. They don't be saying nice things like that about me every day, Liz. Ask them today.
This is something that I have thought of so much. Like, I'm so glad you shared that. Like, I'm telling you, I just yelled at Brody a while ago and I said, I gotta start being nice to him. He is never gonna say anything nice about me in my Diamond documentary. So thank you. I just
I
got a
gotta
whole
tell
bunch of
you,
presents.
Christina. No, listen, earlier, Christina, I messaged her. I'm like, she's like, how you macros been this week? I'm like, well, you gotta try to hold me accountable. But I have been consistent until 5 minutes ago when I just chowed down on the Cheetos. Hannah Kate sat down beside me with, why am I so hungry? I am so hungry. I don't know why. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like yelling at everybody. I'm like, oh, I think I just figured out why I'm so hungry and why everybody's getting on my nerves. Yeah, I don't, because it's that time of the month. But it just occurred to me. So I'm just saying they probably wouldn't be saying, my mama's so kind. They wouldn't be saying that today. Listen, the Diamond documentary, just so y'all know, they're going to do everything they can to make you look fantastic. If there was a squabbling between my kids that day, they're not going to put that in the Diamond documentary. If I was yelling at them, they're not going to put that in the Diamond documentary. They know what their job is, right? So don't think I'm Michelle Duggar, although I would like to be. I'm actually like somewhere between Michelle Duggar and Tupac Shakur.
Beyonce. Yes. Brittany is a yeller, y'all. When she first told me she was a yeller, I'm like, no, you're not. And then I have her in action. But which is funny because if out of the two of us, you would probably think I'm the yeller, and I'm not the yeller. We are not yellers. Brittany be yelling. I had something relevant to say, but what was it?
I'm gonna take that in the nicest way possible. I had something relevant to say too.
No, it was about
the question about how do we transform somebody's life. Was that the question? I feel like this is a question of where do I start? I'm not even kidding. That question, that makes me want to cry just sitting there thinking about that. Like moms being able to pay for tuition to put their kids in private school, or just being able to just have the freedom to have options and work from home instead of have to go, and trust their kids to somebody else, and then just freedom. I think freedom, well, that's my core value, but I see freedom happening in so many different ways. For some people, it might be private school tuition for their kids. For others, it might be something completely different, like coming off prescription meds. So I think what we offer here is freedom, whether with your health or with your finances. That is what we offer. And I just see that all over the place.
I'm gonna share something and I'm gonna not cry, but I don't think even Christina realizes like how impactful she has been just on me personally. I could probably, there's a few people on here that know me very well. Laurel probably could tell you, but just thinking about how I used to be and how I am now, like my confidence, like I have never had good self-esteem ever. I mean, I still got areas to grow with that. So I know that, but like so much has changed just in my belief in myself and just being confident in who I am, like my faith, everything about me. She said, y'all don't want to know the old Terry. I was not that bad. She makes me sound bad. I was not bad. I had a lot of friends, remember? Anyway, but just, I've changed a whole bunch in 3 years. So I'm really very grateful. I wasn't a bad person. See, now y'all go, I don't think I was a bad person. I wasn't. I'm just a lot better now. So I don't think she realizes how much she's impacted me. So I love you. Thank you. Bye.
You're so welcome. But for real, listen, I didn't know when I first started, Brittany will tell y'all, I tended to be a self-focused person. I did not really care about helping other people win. It actually took me winning what I thought was going to be like the win to really make me arrive. Like he says in the book, when this happens, then I'll have arrived. And then I got there and then I was like, I'm lonely. this is not what I thought it would be. What the heck happened? Why did I work so hard for this? This is not what I thought. Matter of fact, I left the shopping spree. Didn't buy a single thing, left the shopping spree. It was the time that Jules couldn't come. So Brittany didn't come, and because she was Jewel, and I was the only one on my team that earned it. And I was by myself. And I was like, womp womp. So that is actually the time I was like, okay, tell me more about this helping others win thing. Like, this ain't what it was cracked up to be by myself. So that is when I became others focused. And I did not realize the impact it would have to realize that you have impact. And so it is definitely much more meaningful. Because when Brittany used to say, it's so much more meaningful for me when I see my team win, I'd be like, really? I don't know that I'm going to feel that way. This is when I was up and coming, y'all. Give me some grace. I'm telling you the truth. But I'd be like, I just don't think that there's going to be anything I love more than winning myself. I'm an achiever by nature. Like, God made me this way. But she's absolutely right. Absolutely right. There's just nothing like realizing someone went further than they would have ever gone on their own because of sometimes simply your belief. Like, I mean, we train and empower and all that, but sometimes just simply your belief that they can be more than they currently are is enough to get them at least moving in that direction. And there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. And turns out the more people you help win, the more you can win. So it's a win-win for everyone. But Terry, I love you the most. You know that. Her and all her
Haven't
emotions.
anyone else say this yet, but for me personally, I was not doing the business and still not doing the business. And then I was just all of a sudden 7 months pregnant and I'm like, holy crap, I can't go back to work. So I started the business because I didn't want to leave my child. And it literally, I was fine with it. I had all these plans for going back to work until like, I just woke up one morning and was like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. But then when I got into the life of a stay-at-home mom, this community has been, I can't even put it into words. I'm an overachiever by nature as well. And I don't want to just do what I'm told to do. I want to go above and beyond. And I need things in my life to do that. And I need something that's mine. And I love raising Remy Rose. It's everything that I wanted to be able to stay home with her. But the community that I'm around still drives me to be better. It still pushes me to do more for myself and my family. I'm still growing and, personal development and reading the books and I'm not falling into this groove that I would be if it was just me and her here all day long by myself. It gives me a reason to step out and talk to people and create relationships with people. I mean, the community has been just, it sounds over dramatic, but it really has been life altering for me as a stay-at-home mom to have this community and this business to work, because I'm still getting to help others and I'm still getting to do all the things I wanted to do outside of staying home with her, while also getting to stay home with her. And then she sees me doing these things and I'm reading this chapter from his daughter's point of view. And I know that's going to be my daughter. She's going to be the person who doesn't understand what it's like not to think you can achieve anything, because she has a mom that went diamond and kept going. And she has a mom that showed her the little habits every day stack up. And she has a mom that kept showing her you can do it all. You just have to figure out how to organize your time. And I think that's one of the best gifts you could give her. And I wouldn't be in that position now, and she wouldn't be in that position later if the ripple effect of everyone in Plexus did not end up where I'm at right now. I wouldn't be able to give her that gift. So, anybody else got a win they want to share? Well, I don't have a whole lot left, but I said we all have a ripple already. It can be good or it can be bad. And I didn't really touch on a whole lot of the bad in my notes here because that's not what I was focusing on, and what you focus on grows. So just throwing that in here at the end, but you have that ripple already. So you're either choosing to make a ripple that has negative effects or positive effects. And if you think about when you come home from work and you're in a bad mood and you've had a terrible day, which probably started when something small happened that morning and you just decided your day was, done then. And then it just snowballed all day long. And then you come home and next thing you know, your kid's really grouchy that night, or your husband's in a bad mood. Dinner doesn't taste good. All those things didn't happen on the same day. The ripple effect happened. You decided you were in a bad mood, and then everyone around you started being in a bad mood because you were in a bad mood. So it's really important to be conscious of what you're doing with your time and your talents and your days and how you're creating that ripple. The small things that we're consistent with can change our lives and others' lives around us, as we've all talked about in this whole call. And it touches our friends, our families, teammates, every single part of your life. I've had it happen that something happened with Plexus and I'm in the grocery store and it's completely unrelated to Plexus. And it was like God prepared me for the conversation I was going to need to have with this person in the store line, because we had just talked about it on book club, or we had just talked about it on Monday Night Live. And I've had a lady cry in the middle of the store because I said something that just touched her that day, and she didn't tell me the whole story. She's just like, you don't know how bad I needed that. She chased me down in the parking lot to give me a bracelet because I had really meant a lot to her that day. And it was unrelated to Plexus, but it wasn't. It was the ripple effect. So the last question I had here, guys, was what do you notice creates the most obvious ripple in your life? When you think on your day or your week or your month or however, what is the most obvious ripple in your life?
I think the words really matter. The things that we say to ourselves and the things that we say to others. And I loved that analogy of the map where there's talking about the words that people were using that were negative, and then people were having heart attacks, people were having just really bad health in those areas. And it's so true. If you start talking negatively to yourself and then it comes out of your mouth and it's to other people, and that creates that ripple effect. But with the mindset, you can stop yourself and you can say, nope, that's a lie. I'm not going to believe that. This is the truth, and I'm going to believe that. And that really changes your life.
I think my most impactful ripple has been disciplined growth time every morning. Quiet time and growth time every single morning has had clearly a significant impact over the last couple of years.
I would echo that for me too. I think learning. I do have a daily habit of learning. And I do see the effects of that.
Gives you all those smart things to say to the rest of us. We can say smart things to the next people.
So for me, my ripple effect will be consistency and routine, because that's what my family lives off of. That's what I do with my business. And so it just works. And my husband calls me, I'm a routine positive Pam, because I turn everything upside down if it goes lopsided in my house. And so I get on his nerves, but he laughs in the end. So I try to do that every day, any way I can. For anybody, if I see a lot of people every day, and if they're negative, I'm like, let's do something else. So I try to make that consistent as well. So that's my ripple for every day.
I think for me too, it's the learning and the personal growth, because I apply it to everything in my life. Like this book has been like changing my life. I do it when I'm cleaning my house. I'm like, master the mundane, just do it, just get it done. And I literally say that out loud to myself. And, Lindley's hearing me saying these things, and she's like cleaning up her toys, and she goes, master the mundane. And she's 5, so I feel like the personal growth is just, I've looked back at myself 2 years ago or a year ago, and I'm like, who was that person? And I applied to everything in my life. and it's creating a ripple effect with me, with my husband, with my daughter, with my whole entire family. Like they all see it. They're like, wow, the changes that have transformed within you. So I agree with Brittany and Christina, like the personal growth and like making it a priority every day.
I'll piggyback on that because I think just adding value is something that is having incredible ripple effect on people around me, because I used to be a subtractor. And so, you know, just through these last couple of years of personal growth for sure, but also just giving out of what I have and what I've learned and what I'm growing in, that I'm now starting to see in conversations or people around me, you know, that are like, oh, your posts lately have just been speaking so strongly to my heart. And I'm like, this is so encouraging. You know, this is worth my transparency. It's worth, you know, the journey. And so I'm seeing the ripple effect of that. And it's pretty awesome to see.
Kaylin, you were a subtractor?
Oh, I was
Wow.
terribly negative.
I'll never believe it.
I can't envision a Kaylin as a subtractor. Like the most positive person ever.
Okay, guys, I was depressed. And I struggled. I compared and all the things. And so I really was stuck. I was stuck in just really hopelessness. And it really was Plexus that helped my gut. But then it was also the team and the community and leadership that called me out in my belief in myself, because I didn't have it. So it's really been a lifeline for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've not been a subtractor since I've known you. You might have felt that way on the inside, but maybe you just have enough Jesus in you to also love people, and we call it add value, but I mean it's just loving people well. I've never seen you subtract.
I feel like, y'all, I mean, it was quiet. I'm just going to talk, but I feel like even though you love people well, you can still be a subtractor though. Because I love people well and I was a subtractor. Like there is a difference, right?
Yeah, there is a difference.
Mhm.
That was a half-baked idea. Appreciate you calling that out, Terry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, well, I mean, we call it add value. I was trying to think of like a biblical way to say it, because Kayleen, she might have felt like really negative on the inside, but she didn't like come across that way. But yes, you can love people and still be a subtractor. Yes.
Like she didn't project it out toward anybody else. Like,
Well, I mean, I didn't know her super well.
right.
I wasn't around her, but I mean, what interaction I did have with her, she was always like polite and friendly. She's never been like rude or like complaining or like super negative. I mean, and then she's like always open to feedback, always. That's probably what impresses me the most about her. Like I can give her feedback and immediately she's like, I'm gonna own that. You know, she's just so mature about it. But it does surprise me a little bit that she would perceive herself to be a subtractor, because
I haven't figured out multiple personalities. Will the real Kayleen please stand up? No, I agree, Kayleen. I actually was, when you said that, I was like, in what way? But he does say in his book, if you're not intentionally adding value, then by default you're subtracting. So if you were self-absorbed or in your negativity or like whatever, and you weren't doing the things that you are doing now intentionally, then I guess by John Maxwell's definition, you would a subtractor. The good news is you grew, Kayleen.
Let's talk about somebody else.
I mean,
Well,
I
I
was a
think-
legit subtractor, like for real. I was negative Nancy. I voiced it, if that makes you feel any better. I wasn't an inside subtractor. I was an outside subtractor.
But I feel like you balanced it with your wit and humor.
Yeah.
So
there
like
go.
you was adding at the same
I was a great friend. I mean, I really was a great friend. I just, if I had something I thought, I just said it out loud. Anyways, I'm better. I am healed.
And the good news is that Terry grew also.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, Christina would tell me, like, I didn't know that I was subtracting. Like, she would say, yeah, that's not really adding value. I'm like, what you talking about? I don't know what you're saying. Like, speak my language. That does not help anybody on what you said. I said, but I'm saying it about myself. How does it affect anybody else? But
Oh, it does. It affects.
definitely does.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I think that if you're miserable, but you have that people pleasing gene in there, that you can be thinking all the subtracting things and feeling all the subtracting things, but you're saying you're really good at covering it up and saying the things that other people will see, but that's not how you feel inside. And I've noticed that's how so many people are. And that is what changes so much here, is that it's just real life, normal people being themselves, but saying, this is like the path, this is the way to go, and you just walk this path and it'll get better. And it does. But so many people are like, have that negative running list all the time. I definitely did all the time. You don't think you have anything to offer, and you don't think that people are going to think anything of you, or that you're going to give anything to anybody. And then when people start calling you out and saying, hey, you're good at this, or you did that well, you're like, well, okay, I guess I'll do that some more. And then, the negative runs a little less, but a lot of us don't think we have a whole lot to offer.
I must have that gene, because I was, when Jessa said something about what's your talent, how you use your talent, I was messaging Christina saying, remind me, what's my talent? I forgot my talent. I forgot my talent. What is my talent?
And she does that all the time. She's like, am I good at anything? We'll end a call and I'm like, we crushed it. She's like, did it have value? Did it help anyone? It didn't help anyone. We suck. We're terrible. And I'm like, are you kidding me? We're rock stars. Let's go. So
No, I don't think you suck. I think, I wonder if I did.
Well,
But I mean, I just like look around at people who do have some talents. I'm like, oh, I don't have that talent. Well, I don't have that talent. I don't have that talent either. I wonder what talent I do have. I can't think of any.
Relatable, except not. I don't ever. I know Missy's probably somewhere on this call going, yeah, I don't struggle with that either. Nikki's saying, we're all like, oh, I got strength. I got so much strength. So much talent.
Did anybody do the happy habits? I've been doing those for months. I'm gonna tell you, they work. After I've done told you I yelled at my kids today. See, what had happened was I haven't done them in like a week. But for months I was doing them, and they really do work. I tracked them in my Remarkable tablet for several months. And like the gratitude one, especially, like you have to every day write down 3 things you're grateful for that you've never wrote down before. And so, man, that really does shift your mindset. It is very effective. And I also thought it was super interesting about the words people say. What was it he was saying here about word? There was like a study done on the words, like people's vocabulary. That was really eye-opening to me.
Where he did the overlay, and like if you used all these words so many times, you had a heart attack, and then if you used these, you didn't. Do you know what was in the list that won't make you have a heart attack? Lunch. I feel like I'm about to live forever because I'm forever talking about food and lunch. But that was funny to me. But I have questions about the study. Like it made me want to think, like, did they become unhealthy after repeated use of these words? Or were the words a result of their perceived like I have so many questions now.
Well, it was their mindset. That was the point. Sorry, Jessa, what'd you say?
It says in the beginning of the happiness chapter that happiness comes prior to success, not success Like when they actually did the studies, people that were happy became successful. It wasn't that successful people became happy. So I would assume that these studies were done with the same premise, like the people saying those words became unwell.
That quote, I love that quote. That quote makes me think about the leaders on my team, because I mean, I remember with Christina, I mean, just the way she would post, she just seemed like somebody I'd want to work with, because she had a good mindset. Like, she didn't have an attitude like everything sucks all the time. She just was positive. She loved her life already. And I just knew this would enhance it, and she would be a diamond, you know, and I could say the same about a lot of my other leaders. But yeah, I do think that the health issues were caused by their mindset. Because that manifests itself physically. Like, it just puts a lot of stress on your body. Like, and Switch on Your Brain, she talks about this a lot too, like how the thoughts manifest themselves physically. Like, they start as a thought, but it literally can like change your DNA and stuff. I mean, that it becomes a physical thing. Like, it was metaphysical, it becomes physical. And that just blows my mind. So anyways, that I love that study about the vocabulary, because when I read that, I really started just thinking through people that I know, and the ones that are negative, like I would say she's like a negative person. They use those words a lot. And then I started analyzing my own words, and I thought, I mean, I'm definitely on the positive side. But I think that's a learned thing too, because probably just through personal development, I think my personality, I'm a melancholy. So I think I just have a tendency to be like, my natural bent would be glass half empty. So I have to work at it to be positive or have a good attitude or whatever. It's not something that comes natural to me. Like Emily, she's just like naturally glass half full. She doesn't have to like work hard at that. I think some of it's personality.
Anybody else want to know if you made Brittany's gratitude list? Like, she says she's been doing it for months.
Oh,
Surely
I
you
know
picked
I
it up.
did. I know I did. Because about a week or two ago, a couple weeks ago, she just messaged me out of the blue, and it was so nice.
That was that happy habit number 3.
Yeah, where it says
But
email, except you don't.
Yes, here's
email.
the thing. There's another team doing this book study. Guess how I know? Because I have gotten 3 or 4 emails or like direct messages from strangers. Like, I just wanted to reach out and let you know that you've impacted. Like, it was, and I want to be like, are you my happy habit number 3? I think I will respond that way and be like, you go. That's funny though.
I will say something wrong. I do want to do lunch. I like lunch. I mean, sometimes I did write down the same thing more than once, because I'm just like, but I really am very grateful for this. Really am.
I don't think you're a liar, so I believe you. I believe those things. The good thing is when I read that, I was like, oh, check. I already do that.
Tara, you on my prayer list.
Good. I'm glad. I need to be on all y'all's prayer list.
This is why we have a ripple effect right here. Prime example.
I think the lunch is positive, because I think they're having lunch with other people. Like, do you want to go to lunch? I'll have lunch with you. I'll buy you lunch today. And that's a simple act of giving that you're supposed to practice. And happiness really does include people. And I love all of you guys so much. My life would not be nearly so full if you were not in it. And every time we get together, it just gets better and better and better, because I live all the way over here in Maine by myself. But I love all of you, and I'm grateful for you.
And that is why I asked you to switch chapters with me. So I was supposed to do chapter 7, and I messaged her and I'm like, okay, I've read chapter 7 and I just feel like I can learn some happiness things from you. If someone's going to teach that chapter, I feel like it needs to be you. And that's why. But I have one more Bible verse, guys, and that's all I had. I'm done for the night. And it's just one that I wanted to leave with y'all to think this through while you go to sleep tonight. It's Jeremiah 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. He literally tells us he's got this plan for us, and he keeps putting things in our lap, and he keeps giving us opportunities to better other people's lives and move forward with things and propel our lives if we just take what we're given and all the books that we keep reading about it and all of the growth that keeps happening and implement it so that our lives can grow. And that's all I got, guys. So I guess I will talk to y'all next week. Thank y'all so much.